In this video, we're going to be cutting a 66 or KW1 house key, and for that we will be using the A clamp or the A jaw. You can see how you can swap the jaws back and forth. We will be using the A jaw for both of these. And to fit the key in, you're going to just sit it in there with the shoulder evening up. You can see a little ledge there will match up to the ledge on the clamp, and tighten it down. Now the point between the tracer and the cutting tool is fixed, so we need to make sure that is the same distance here. We're going to use the shoulder gauge to do that, and I'm going to loosen this one up a little bit and just sit it just a little bit closer to the shoulder gauge. So now the key is sitting snugly on both sides of the shoulder gauge. We know that these are now the same distance apart as these. Now for the actual cutting itself, you're going to push down on the handle here, push in the red button, move the carriage forward, and you're going to get the tracer right down in that first kind of shoulder right there, right before the first cut. Then you're going to just do one smooth motion across. So we're going to go up, we're going to get into that slot, we're going to do one fluid motion across, and then back down. So I'm going to turn the motor on, and again we're going to go up right into that cut, and one fluid motion across. And back down. Turn the motor off. Always make sure you turn the motor off before you remove the key. Now there's going to be a couple of little metal shavings that we're going to use the deburring brush for. So always turn the motor off, remove the key, turn the motor back on, and then at a downward angle, use the deburring brush to get any of those metal shavings off the key. Turn off the motor, and we now have a perfect duplicate 66 key. Now we're going to duplicate a double-sided automotive key. These kind of keys are typical for Jeep, GM, and Chrysler branded vehicles. So we're going to use our key, and we are also going to need our steel tip bars that we are going to orient with that small tip facing down and out, and that is going to go in the furthest slot. Since these keys don't have a shoulder to them, we cannot use the shoulder guide, which is why we need to use the steel stop bars. And that will make sure that we have each key, both the original and the blank, at the same distance of each other. So we're going to slide the key in, and we're going to do this on the C clamp. The C clamp is going to be typical for most edge cut double-sided automotive keys such as these. And we're going to slide it in all the way until the tip of the key rests against the steel stop bar. And you'll feel it with that little notch there. You'll feel it slide into place, and you're going to clamp it down once you feel it in that notch. And same thing with the blank. Just push it all the way to the tip, it's touching the steel stop bar, and you feel the key in the notch, and clamp it down. Now we're going to remove the steel tips and set them off to the side. Now since these are double-sided, double edge cut keys, we will need to do one pass through, one clean sweep as before, turn the motor off, flip this key. It's the same cut on both sides, so we don't need to flip the original because it'll have the same cut, but we do need to flip the key that we are cutting. So we'll flip it, and then we'll turn the motor back on, do another pass through, cut it, turn the motor off, take the key out, turn the motor back on, and use the deburring brush on both sides of the key. Alright, so motor on, and we're going to go up and do one fluid motion. You want to start with the tracer just a little bit before the first cut. Lock it back, motor off, flip the key, need our steel stop bar, make sure that we have it in the same space in. So the tip is touching the steel stop bar. Line it up with that groove in there. Remove the steel tip. Set it off to the side. Motor back on. And another pass through, cutting the second side of the key. Motor off. Remove the key. It's now cut on both sides. And now we just need to use the deburring brush to get any metal shavings off. Motor on. And point the key at a downward angle. Motor off. And now we have a nice clean duplicate of the original.